Hi, I'm Brad Frey, Music Supervisor here at AIVA Technologies, here with another update video for our online music engine. So lots of new controls to show you, so without further ado, let's hop on and I'll show you some of the stuff that we've added. Okay, so to start with, let's head on over to the customizable parameters dialog box, and you'll see that we've got this new pacing parameter. And if you click that, you have the option of choosing automatic, slow, medium, or fast. And basically what will happen is if you select one of these, AIVA will automatically choose an appropriate combination of both tempo and rhythmic accompaniment to help achieve that specific pacing that you've chosen. So just to give you something to base this off of, most of the music that you have probably generated on the music engine prior to this feature being introduced has probably fit into this medium category, just a pretty average tempo with no real control over the accompaniment. And now, for example, if you select slow, you will get something like this. So as you can see, much slower tempo than usual, and also just very sustained chords, not a lot happening in the accompaniment rhythm-wise. Something to note is that with this pacing parameter, if you specify something here, you cannot also specify something in the time signature parameter as well. So if you try to do that, you'll see it says the time signature and pacing parameters are incompatible with each other. So if you specify one of them, you can't specify something for the other for the time being. Speaking of time signature, we've got a new one for the modern cinematic. So you can now create a 3/4 modern cinematic piece. One of my favorite things to do with this is to use this with the new Mallets and orchestra ensemble that we introduced in the last update. And so I'll show you an example of that now, just to, let you hear what this sounds like. So while we're here in the piano roll, I want to show you another new feature, which is this show full arrangement switch. And so when you switch that on, you'll see a lot of new notes just showed up in the piano roll. And basically what that is it's showing you all of the octave transpositions which are otherwise being hidden in the normal piano roll view. So if you click on one of these elements, you can see, for example, the celli are doubling the violins an octave below, and the violin ones are being doubled an octave higher. So if we turn on show full arrangement, we see those notes are now appearing an octave below and an octave higher to help visualize what you're actually hearing. And so for people who maybe want to be able to see all of that, this switch is for you. If you would rather keep things simple, then you can go ahead and just keep that off, and you can see everything, I think, a little more clearly. Let's head back to the customizable parameter box again. And something that a lot of people have been asking for is more control over the duration. So we've got some new options here. You can generate something under than 30 seconds. You can generate something between 2.5 minutes and 3 minutes, and then also over 3 minutes. So some new duration controls there. We've got some new guitar sounds in the rock and pop presets, so I'll quickly play you a few examples of what those guitar sounds will sound like. Starting with the cold yellow pepper guitar sound. I think you'll have a pretty good idea based off of the names what these guitars should sound like. Okay, got the On the Edge guitar. got the Pantera from Hell guitar. And we've got the Guitar in Bloom guitar. So there are a few other guitar sounds that we've added to, and I just want to show you, if you go here to the instrumentation box, you can see, first of all, which guitar sound you already have. And you can now switch the guitar sound to something else if you would rather have a different sound. And so there's a few other guitar sounds here that you can see that, I'm not going to show you right now, but I would, encourage you to go check those out and play around with those new sounds. So if I wanted to download one of these pieces, say, as a 16-bit WAV file, you now have the option to do that. This is an option for premium users only, and I just want to show you that if this is something you want to do, you'll notice right away that this is actually grayed out, and so what you have to do is render the piece first as an uncompressed WAV file. And once it's finished rendering, you'll then have the option to go back and actually click that and download the file as a WAV file. Coming up next, in some of the upcoming updates, more improvements to Modern Cinematic preset, including more time signatures, dynamics editing in the piano roll, drums and percussion. I know this is something you all want, and we are actively working on, making this happen. New presets for jazz and fantasy music. I think the jazz one's pretty self-explanatory. For fantasy, think, epic fantasy video games and films with, dragons and magic and all of that fun stuff, and the music that might typically accompany those sorts of things. More intuitive control over all music parameters. So some people have some trouble knowing what parameters to change in order to achieve a specific result. And so we're working on kind of a high-level control which would affect all of those parameters under the hood that some of the more advanced users know how to use. So, for example, you might be able to select an option like SAD, and that might set the pacing to slow, set the key to minor, maybe change the instrumentation to something like strings and piano, without you having to actually go and specify all of those things for yourself. And that might be especially helpful if you don't know what any of that even means. So just something we're trying to work out right now. And then just, small general improvements for usability and some new payment options for those premium subscriptions, including PayPal. So that's it for today. If you have any questions or comments, of course, feel free to comment below or reach out to us at feedback@AIVA.ai. And until next time, thanks for watching.